Picture this, a smoke-filled room, thick with anticipation. The air is heavy, not just with the haze of countless cigarettes, but with the palpable tension of a high-stakes game. Men in sharp suits and women in elegant dresses exchange knowing glances, their eyes glinting with the promise of fortune. The room is alive with murmurs, the soft clinking of glasses, and the occasional burst of laughter. It's a scene straight out of a noir film where every shadow holds a secret, and every face hides a story. A mountain of cash spills across a mahogany table, gleaming under the dim chandelier light. The bills are crisp, the coins shiny, and the sheer volume of money is enough to make anyone's heart race. It's not just a pile of cash, it's a symbol of dreams, ambitions, and the intoxicating allure of wealth. The table, sturdy and polished, seems almost insignificant under the weight of the fortune it bears. Each note, each coin, tells a story of hope, of risk, and of the relentless pursuit of prosperity. A charismatic figure, Charles Ponzi, flashes a confident smile, his voice booming with promises of unimaginable wealth. His presence is magnetic, drawing people in with a charm that's almost hypnotic. He speaks with a conviction that makes even the most skeptical listener believe in the impossible. His eyes sparkle with a mischievous glint, hinting at the secrets he holds. To the crowd, he is not just a man, he is a beacon of hope, a guide to a future filled with riches. "Double your money in 90 days, he declares, his words dripping with honeyed assurance. The promise is simple, yet irresistible. It's a proposition that defies logic, yet, in the heat of the moment, logic takes a back seat. The crowd hangs on his every word, their imaginations running wild with visions of newfound wealth. The room buzzes with excitement, each person already planning how they will spend their doubled fortune. It's a dream sold with such finesse that it feels almost tangible. Investors, their eyes wide with dreams of riches, eagerly hand over their savings. They come from all walks of life, united by a common desire for financial freedom. Some bring their life savings, others borrow from friends and family, all driven by the hope of a better future. The room is a whirlwind of activity, as money changes hands and promises are made. Each investor is a testament to the power of hope, and the lengths people will go to for a chance at prosperity. The scene practically screams success, a testament to the power of, well, that's just it, isn't it? Just the power of belief, the power of persuasion, and the power of a well-spun tale. The office is a hive of activity, with phones ringing, papers shuffling, and people moving with purpose. It's a picture of efficiency and prosperity, a well-oiled machine running at full throttle. But beneath the surface there are cracks, small but telling, hinting at the fragility of this carefully constructed facade. Was it success, or was it something far more sinister? The question lingers in the air, a shadow over the glittering scene. Doubts begin to creep in, whispers of uncertainty that grow louder with each passing day. The once confident smiles start to falter, replaced by furrowed brows and anxious glances. The room, once filled with excitement, now holds an undercurrent of tension. It's a reminder that not all that glitters is gold, and that sometimes the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows. Spoiler alert, it was sinister. The truth, when it finally comes to light, is a harsh and unforgiving reality. The promises of wealth were nothing more than a mirage, a carefully crafted illusion designed to deceive. The dream shatters, leaving behind a trail of broken hopes and empty pockets. The room, once filled with laughter and anticipation, now echoes with the sounds of betrayal and regret. It's a stark reminder of the dangers of blind trust and the high cost of greed. Behind the dazzling facade of wealth and the intoxicating allure of easy money lurked a truth as old as time itself. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The allure of easy money is a siren's call, tempting and irresistible but ultimately destructive. The facade, once so convincing, crumbles to reveal the harsh reality beneath. It's a lesson learned the hard way, a cautionary tale that echoes through the ages. The promise of quick riches is a trap, and those who fall for it often pay a heavy price. Charles Ponzi, the mastermind behind this grand illusion, wasn't a financial wizard. He was a con man of the highest order. His schemes were elaborate, his deceptions masterful, but in the end, they were just that. Deceptions. Ponzi's name would go down in history, not as a symbol of success, but as a cautionary tale of greed and gullibility. His story serves as a stark reminder that in the world of finance, as in life, there are no shortcuts to true wealth. The only real path to prosperity is through hard work, integrity, and a healthy dose of skepticism. So who was this Charles Ponzi, this architect of empty promises? Born in Italy in 1882, Ponzi was a man of humble beginnings and, let's just say, flexible morals. He arrived in America, the land of opportunity, in 1903, carrying with him little more than a suitcase full of dreams and a knack for bending the rules in his favor. Even in his youth, Ponzi possessed a certain charisma, a knack for persuasion that could charm the birds right out of the trees. But beneath that charming veneer lay a cunning mind, always scheming, always searching for the quickest, easiest path to wealth. America, it seemed, was the perfect playground for his ambitions. Ponzi's early years in America were a far cry from the life of luxury he so desperately craved. Arriving with little more than a few dollars in his pocket and a head full of dreams, he quickly realized that the streets of America were not paved with gold. Instead, they were filled with the harsh realities of survival. The bustling cities with their towering buildings and endless opportunities were also places of immense struggle and competition. For many immigrants, the American dream was elusive, and Ponzi was no exception. He drifted from one odd job to another, a jack of all trades, master of none. From washing dishes in grimy kitchens to working on the railroads, Ponzi experienced the grueling labor that many immigrants faced. Each job was a temporary solution, a means to an end, but none provided the wealth or status he so desperately sought. The constant instability and lack of fulfillment only fueled his desire for something more, something that would set him apart from the masses. And along the way he discovered a talent for deception. It started small, with little lies and minor cons, but Ponzi quickly realized that he had a knack for manipulating people and situations to his advantage. His charm and quick wit made it easy for him to gain the trust of others, only to betray them for his own gain. This newfound skill opened up a world of possibilities, and Ponzi was eager to explore them all. From forging checks to smuggling immigrants across the border, Ponzi walked on the wrong side of the law with an almost casual disregard. His schemes grew bolder and more elaborate, each one a testament to his cunning and audacity. He reveled in the thrill of the con, the rush of outsmarting the authorities and getting away with his crimes, but with each success, the stakes grew higher, and the risks more dangerous. Each scheme, each brush with the law, seemed to embolden him, reinforcing his belief that he could outsmart anyone. The more he got away with, the more invincible he felt. His confidence grew with every successful con, and he began to see himself as untouchable. This overconfidence would eventually be his downfall, but for now, it only spurred him on to greater and more daring exploits. And then, in 1919, amidst the chaos and opportunity of post-war America, an idea struck him, an idea so audacious, so breathtakingly simple, that it would come to define his legacy, the Ponzi scheme. It was a plan that promised immense returns with little risk, a dream come true for investors desperate to rebuild their fortunes after the war. Ponzi's scheme was a masterstroke of deception, a perfect blend of charisma, cunning, and audacity. It was the culmination of everything he had learned and experienced, and it would make him one of the most infamous figures in financial history. Section 4. The Anatomy of a Con Unraveling the Ponzi Scheme. Now let's break down this ingenious yet ludicrously simple scheme. Imagine a bicycle. Not just any bicycle, but one that runs on the endless energy of new riders. Picture this. Every time a new rider joins, the bicycle gains momentum. The more riders, the faster it goes. But what happens when the riders stop coming? The bicycle slows down and eventually comes to a halt. This is the essence of a Ponzi scheme. The scheme is named after Charles Ponzi, an infamous swindler from the early 20th century. Ponzi promised investors that he could provide them with a 50% return on their investment in just 45 days. His pitch was simple, yet compelling, and people flocked to invest their money with him. But instead of generating actual profits, Ponzi used the money from new investors to pay off the earlier ones, creating the illusion of a profitable venture. That's the basic gist of a Ponzi scheme. It relies on a constant influx of new investors to pay off the older ones. The scheme can only sustain itself as long as there are more new investors than those seeking to cash out. Once the flow of new money stops, the entire structure collapses. Instead of generating actual profits, it relies on a constant influx of new investors to pay off older ones. This creates a cycle where the scheme appears to be successful, drawing in even more investors. The promise of high returns is so enticing that people often overlook the red flags. Here's the breakdown. Ponzi promises ridiculously high returns, enticing investors to throw their money at him. He uses the funds from new investors to pay off the earlier ones, creating the illusion of a successful investment. This initial success attracts even more investors, perpetuating the cycle. Early investors, blinded by their initial payout, become his biggest cheerleaders, drawing in even more unsuspecting victims. They spread the word, convinced that they have stumbled upon a golden opportunity. This word-of-mouth marketing is incredibly effective as people tend to trust recommendations from friends and family. The cycle continues, a financial house of cards built on nothing but empty promises and the desperation of others. Eventually, the scheme collapses under its own weight, leaving a trail of financial ruin in its wake. The victims are left to pick up the pieces, often with little hope of recovering their lost investments. The Ponzi scheme serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of too-good-to-be-true investment opportunities. Section 5. Riding the wave. Ponzi's meteoric rise. And boy, did that house of cards rise high. Word of Ponzi's investment genius spread like wildfire. People lined up for blocks, their pockets overflowing with cash, desperate to get in on the action. It was a full-blown frenzy, fueled by greed and the unshakable belief that they were smarter than the average sucker. Politicians, policemen, even the most seasoned investors, they all fell under Ponzi's spell. His name became synonymous with success, his story a testament to the American dream, albeit a twisted, distorted version of it. For a brief, glorious moment, Charles Ponzi was on top of the world, swimming in a sea of other people's money.